Stop. Right now, someone is using your kindness as a weapon against you. They ask for favors. You say yes. They take credit for your work. You stay quiet. They twist your words. You explain yourself. And with every move, you lose power. Here's the truth. Manipulators aren't smarter than you. They just know something you don't. They know the rules of the game, and you don't even know you're playing. In the next few minutes, you'll learn Machiavelli's counter-manipulation system, the exact weapons manipulators use, and how to turn those weapons back on them. This isn't about becoming cruel. This is about never being the victim again. You're exhausted. Every conversation with certain people leaves you drained, confused, questioning yourself. You walk away thinking, did I just agree to something I didn't want to do? Yes, you did. And it's not your fault. You were raised to be kind, to give people the benefit of the doubt, to explain yourself when misunderstood, to help when asked. They were raised differently. They learned early that kindness is exploitable, that confusion creates opportunity, that your need to be understood makes you controllable. While you're trying to be fair, they're 3 moves ahead. Your coworker asks if you can help real quick with their project. 2 hours later, you're doing their work while they take a coffee break. Your friend constantly needs emotional support, but vanishes when you need them. Your family member guilt trips you into every gathering, but disrespects your boundaries. You keep thinking it'll get better, that they'll finally see your value, that being patient will pay off. It won't, because manipulators don't change when you're nice. They escalate when you're predictable. You're not weak. You're being strategically exploited by people who understand power dynamics better than you do. Until now. Niccolo Machiavelli watched the most brutal power struggles in Renaissance Italy. Princes betrayed by advisors, allies who became enemies overnight, families destroyed by people they trusted. He saw one pattern everywhere. Good people lost, not because they were stupid, but because they didn't understand the rules of power. So Machiavelli wrote the manual, not to create more manipulators, but to help decent people survive in a world full of them. He discovered something that changed everything. The weapons manipulators use aren't complex. They're simple, predictable, and once you see them, you can neutralize them. Better yet, you can reverse them. Machiavelli understood that power isn't about being the loudest or the cruelest. It's about controlling the frame, the narrative, the outcome. And that's exactly what manipulators do to you every single day. But today, that ends, because you're about to learn their playbook. And once you know the game, you can't be played. Number 1, the world rewards aggression, not fairness. Stop waiting for fairness. It's never coming. You think if you just work harder, if you just prove your value, people will recognize it. They won't, because the world doesn't see effort. It sees results, and it doesn't see results. It sees whoever takes credit for them. Picture this scenario. You spend 3 months developing a strategy. You do the research, create the presentation, solve the problem. Then your manager presents it to leadership with barely a mention of your name. When you bring it up, they say, well, it was a team effort. Watch what's actually happening. In any competitive environment, resources are limited. Promotions, recognition, opportunities, there's never enough for everyone. So people don't wait for their turn. They take. The psychological principle is simple. Assertiveness is interpreted as competence. When someone speaks with confidence and claims ownership, others assume they earned it. When you stay humble and wait to be recognized, others assume you're not leadership material. Machiavelli once said, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, because it belongs to everybody to see you, too few to come in touch with you. Perception is reality. If you don't claim your value loudly, others will assume you have none. Apply this immediately. First, document everything. Every idea you generate, every problem you solve. Create a paper trail. Second, speak up in meetings, not aggressively, but with certainty. Say, I solved this, not we figured it out. Third, when someone tries to take credit, correct it immediately, publicly. Actually, I developed that strategy. Here's the timeline. Most people fear looking arrogant. That fear is destroying them. But this reveals something even more dangerous. Number 2, mercy is interpreted as weakness. Your forgiveness is being weaponized against you. Someone disrespects you. You let it slide because you're the bigger person. They do it again. You forgive because everyone deserves a second chance. They do it again. And now they don't even bother apologizing. Imagine this, your friend cancels plans with you. Third time this month. You say, no problem, we'll reschedule. Next week, they cancel again. Last minute, via text. You respond with understanding. Then you see their social media. They're out with other people. The reality is brutal. Every time you show mercy without consequences, you're training people how to treat you. You're teaching them that your boundaries don't exist, that your time doesn't matter, that disrespecting you comes with zero cost. This is operant conditioning in action. Behavior that goes unpunished gets repeated. Your mercy becomes their permission. They're not bad people, necessarily. They're just doing what works. And what works is treating you however they want, because you've never made them stop. Machiavelli once said, men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities that one who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. People will exploit your kindness as long as you allow it. Your mercy without boundaries is the deception you're selling yourself. Use this weapon. When someone crosses a line, respond immediately. Not with anger, with consequences. They cancel plans. Stop making plans with them. They disrespect you. Remove access to your time and energy. They take advantage. Cut them off. One boundary enforced teaches more than 100 conversations about respect. Now watch what happens when you combine this with the next principle. Number 3, silence protects you more than explanation. Stop defending yourself. Every word you say is ammunition. Someone accuses you of something. Your instinct is to explain, to justify, to prove you're right. So you talk. You give context. You share your reasoning. You try to make them understand. And with every word, you lose power. Let me show you how this plays out. Your boss questions a decision you made. Instead of a simple answer, you launch into a detailed explanation. You explain your thought process, the alternatives you considered, why this was the best choice. 10 minutes later, they've found 3 holes in your reasoning, not because you were wrong, but because more words mean more targets. The mechanism is simple. Defense implies guilt. When you over-explain, you signal that you're not confident in your position. You're seeking approval, validation, permission to be right. The more you talk, the more you reveal. Every explanation gives people information about how you think, what you fear, where your weaknesses are. Smart people collect this information, then they use it. Machiavelli once said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Mystery is power. When people can't read you, they can't manipulate you. Here's your tactical approach. When questioned, Give the minimum viable answer. I made that decision because it was the right call. When accused, state your position once, then stop. That's not accurate. Period. No elaboration. If they push for more, I've said what I need to say. Watch what happens. Your silence makes them uncomfortable. So they start talking, filling the void, revealing their real agenda, their insecurities, their hand. But there's something you must protect even more carefully. Number 4, never reveal your full capability. The moment they know what you can do, they know your limits. You're good at something, so you show it. You demonstrate your skill. You solve the hard problems. You become the go-to person. And then what happens? You become the permanent solution. You're great with Excel. You help a coworker once with a complicated spreadsheet. Word spreads. Now 5 people are asking you for help every week. It's not your job. You're not getting paid extra, but you keep doing it because you want to be helpful. Meanwhile, the person who barely knows Excel, they're working on high-visibility projects, getting FaceTime with leadership, moving up. The reality underneath is harsh. When you reveal your full capability, people categorize you. You become an Excel person, the detail person, the helper. Not the strategic thinker, not the leader, the support. This is typecasting at work. Once people form a mental model of what you are, they struggle to see you as anything else. You've boxed yourself in with your own competence. Machiavelli once said, "Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception." He understood that hidden capability is a strategic advantage. If they don't know what you can do, they can't exploit it, and more importantly, they can't limit you. Deploy this strategically. Help selectively, not automatically. When asked for help, sometimes say, "I'm not sure I can help with that." Even if you can, let others struggle occasionally. It builds their capability and protects your time. Save your best work for moments that matter. For your own projects, your own advancement, your own goals. And when do you demonstrate skill? Always hold something back. Always let them wonder if there's more. This leads to Machiavelli's most counterintuitive weapon. Number 5, strategic absence creates more value than constant presence. The more available you are, the less you're valued. You answer every call, respond to every message, show up to every meeting, attend every social event. You think this makes you valuable, indispensable, part of the team. It doesn't. It makes you furniture. Here's the contrast. There's someone at work who's always busy, always helpful, always there when anyone needs anything. Nobody thinks about them. Then there's someone else, harder to reach, selective about meetings, doesn't respond immediately. When they show up, everyone pays attention. Psychology is primal. Human beings value scarcity. We want what's hard to get. We dismiss what's freely available. Constant availability signals low value. Because if you're always free, clearly you're not in demand. It's called the scarcity effect. The same resource becomes more desirable when it appears limited. You're not actually changing your value. You're changing the perception of your value. Machiavelli once said, "He who is highly esteemed is not easily conspired against." Absence creates esteem. When you're not there, people realize what you bring. They appreciate your presence because they've felt your absence. Execute this with precision. First, don't respond immediately to every message. Wait. Even if you've read it, create space. Second, be selective about meetings. If your presence isn't critical, decline. I have a scheduling conflict. Third, occasionally be unreachable. No explanation needed. When do you show up? Be fully present. Be valuable. Be memorable. Then disappear again. If you're ready to master strategic absence, drop this in the comments. I control my availability. But understand this. Absence only works when you know who to trust. Number 6, alliances are temporary. Self-interest is permanent. That person who has your back today will choose themselves tomorrow. You think you have friends at work, real allies, people who would support you when it matters. Then the company restructures, or a promotion opens up, or leadership asks who's responsible for a problem. Watch how fast those friendships evolve into strategic distance. Let me show you exactly how this unfolds. You and a colleague have been collaborating for months, sharing ideas, supporting each other, covering for each other. Then you both get nominated for the same leadership position. Suddenly, small comments start circulating. I like them, but I'm not sure they're ready for that level. Guess who's saying it? Your ally. The brutal truth. People aren't evil. They're human. And humans are wired for self-preservation first. When your success and their success align, your allies, the moment those interests diverge, the alliance ends. It's rational self-interest. Everyone makes decisions based on what benefits them most. They may like you, genuinely, but when it's between your advancement and theirs, they're choosing themselves. Every time. Machiavelli once said, "Men ought either to be well treated or crushed, because they can avenge themselves of lighter injuries, of more serious ones they cannot." Don't halfway trust anyone. Either fully protect yourself, or understand that partial loyalty is no loyalty at all. Protect yourself with these tactics. First, maintain professional relationships. Be friendly, be helpful, but never share information that could be used against you. Second, diversify your alliances. Never depend on one person or group. Third, always have a backup plan that doesn't require anyone's support. When someone shows you their self-interest, don't be offended. Expect it. Plan for it. Protect yourself from it. But even perfect alliances crumble if you can't master this next weapon. Number 7, controlled emotion is power. Reactive emotion is weakness. The moment you react, they control you. Someone says something that pisses you off. You respond emotionally, raise your voice, defend yourself, show frustration. You think you're standing up for yourself. You're not. You're handing them your leash. Witness this scenario. In a meeting, someone makes a subtle dig at your work. Everyone's watching. Your face gets hot. Your voice goes up. You snap back. The room gets uncomfortable. Later, people don't remember what was said. They remember that you lost composure. The mechanism is devastating. Emotional reactions reveal what hurts you. Once people know your triggers, they have leverage. They can provoke you anytime they want, make you look unstable, unprofessional, weak. It's emotional hijacking. When you react emotionally, your amygdala takes over. Rational thinking shuts down. You say things you regret. You make decisions that hurt you, all while they stay calm and watch. Machiavelli once said, "The one who adapts his policy to the times prospers, and likewise the one whose policy clashes with the demands of the times does not." He understood that adaptability requires control. You can't be strategic when you're emotional. Master this with 3 moves. First, when provoked, pause. Literally count to 3 in your head. Second, Respond with questions instead of reactions. Interesting perspective. What makes you say that? Forces them to explain. Takes pressure off you. Third, if you're truly angry, say nothing. I'll think about that and get back to you. Then walk away. Process privately. Respond strategically later. The person who stays calm in chaos. That's who people follow. Comment, I master composure, if you understand this principle. Now here's the final weapon that brings everything together. Number 8, reputation is built on what you refuse, not what you accept. Everyone respects boundaries. Nobody respects doormats. You say yes to everything, extra projects, unreasonable deadlines, covering for others, weekend work. You think this proves you're a team player, that it shows dedication. It shows you're exploitable. Look at this contrast. Two people in the same company. One says yes to everything, stays late, takes on extra work, never pushes back. The other is selective, says no to projects that aren't strategic, protects their time, sets clear boundaries. Who gets promoted? The one who says no. The reality is stark. When you accept everything, you signal that your time has no value. Your judgment has no weight. Your priorities can be overridden by anyone's request. This is anchoring in action. The first boundary you set becomes the standard people expect. If you start with no boundaries, that's what people come to expect. But if you start by being selective, people learn to respect your time and to value it when you do say yes. Machiavelli once said, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." What he means is this: your word has value only when you're selective about giving it. Say yes to everything, and your yes means nothing. Say no strategically, and your yes becomes powerful. Execute without apology. Start saying no. Professionally, strategically, but definitively. I can't take that on right now. That doesn't align with my current priorities. I'm not available. No explanation, no apology, no guilt. Watch what happens. The people who respected you stay. The people who are using you disappear. And leadership? They start seeing you as someone with discernment, someone who knows their value. Your reputation isn't built on how much you do. It's built on what you refuse to tolerate. You walked in here believing the world was fair. You're walking out knowing it's not, and knowing exactly how to survive it. You believed that working hard would be enough. It isn't. You believed that being kind would protect you. It won't. You believed that fairness mattered. It doesn't. Now you understand that aggression gets rewarded, while fairness gets exploited. That mercy without consequences becomes permission for abuse. That silence protects you more than any explanation ever will. You learned that hidden capability keeps you from being typecast. That strategic absence makes you more valuable than constant presence. That alliances shift with self-interest, not loyalty. And you discovered that emotional control gives you power, while reaction gives others control. That your reputation is built on what you refuse, not what you accept. These aren't cruelty lessons. These are clarity lessons. This is how you survive when the world refuses to play fair. Machiavelli once said, "Where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great." Your willingness to protect yourself determines everything. The world will test you. People will push your boundaries, exploit your kindness, take advantage of your mercy. The question isn't whether this will happen. The question is whether you'll have the willingness to stop it. This is what it means to survive in a world that rewards ruthlessness, not becoming the predator, but refusing to remain prey. The ruthless understand reality. They see the game being played. They protect themselves accordingly. They refuse to be crushed. So here's your choice. You can continue being the person who gets taken advantage of, the one who thinks fairness matters in a world that doesn't play fair, the one who shows mercy to people who see it as weakness, the one who stays quiet while others take credit, the one who says yes while others say no. That person gets crushed. Or you can become the person who sees clearly, who acts strategically, who protects their value, who refuses to be exploited. That person survives. That person thrives. That person wins. The world isn't going to change. Will you? If this changed how you see power dynamics, hit that like button. Drop your biggest insight in the comments. Share this with someone who needs to understand that kindness without strategy is just self-destruction. Drop your final commitment in the comments. I refuse to be crushed. Ruthlessness isn't cruelty. It's refusing to let the world make you a victim. It's seeing reality clearly and protecting yourself accordingly. It's choosing survival over sacrifice. Next video, Machiavelli's most dangerous lesson, the one that gets people exiled from social circles, the principle that separates power players from everyone else, the reason why the most successful people appear cold. You're not ready, but you need to be.